My name is Jeffrey Boker, and with me is cameraman Peter Kriebel. We are with Parade Rest, Virginia. We are here today to speak with Peggy Lawson Warham, a Gold Star family member, about her brother, Champ Jackson Lawson Jr., known as CJ. This interview is part of the Library of Congress's Veterans History Project. The date is December 1, 2025, and we are at Peggy's home in Earlysville, Virginia. CJ was born on June 7, 1947. Specialist 4 Lawson served in the United States Army in Vietnam as a helicopter mechanic and door gunner on a UH-1 Huey helicopter. He gave his life for his country on November 4, 1965, when his helicopter was involved in a mid-air collision during Operation Long Beach. He was 18 years old. Thank you, Peggy, for talking with us today about your brother, CJ.
Thank you.
Do you have a picture of him?
I do. I have first off, this is a picture of him before he went into the military.
Great.
I think he was 16. And then I have a picture with his uniform. Yep.
Great.
Very young, as you can see.
Yes. How old was he when he went into the service?
He actually had a birthday on June 7, and he joined the military the next day.
At the age of?
18.
Okay. Let's first start by talking about your family. What was your father's name and mother's name?
Okay, I'm going to explain a little bit about the name.
Sure.
So my dad was named Champ Jackson Lawson Sr., and he named his son Champ Jackson Lawson Jr., so we called him CJ. Okay, after CJ's wife was pregnant when he died, and her son, we had a different name picked out. They named him Champ Jackson Lawson, so he's Champ Jackson Lawson the third. So just to try to keep that straight, but we call my dad Champ. We call my brother CJ, and we call my nephew CJ, but I'll try to put up my three fingers or whatever.
Well, we'll call him CJ.
Okay.
That was a picture of your father in uniform, so
Right.
he served?
He went into the Marines. I was already born, and I don't remember anything about him before he went. He just felt that he needed to go, and he served in the Pacific. And he came home, it was almost Christmas. I want to say, I'm not sure, 45, 46, somewhere in there. And my mom had told me that we were going to go pick him up at the train station, so I was waiting for that. And we lived with my grandparents, and I heard a knock on the front door, and she opened the door, and all of a sudden she's kissing this man I'd never seen before, and I just didn't think it could be my dad, because we got to get him at the train station. So I ran into the back bedroom and got up underneath the bed. But my dad was wonderful. He was very, very, I'm so glad he came home. And
Did he have any brothers who served?
he had two brothers, and I can't recall what branch they were in. One of them was named Kelly, and the other one was named Johnny. And I've seen pictures of both of them in uniforms. I know they both served.
It would have been during World War II?
World War II. Mm-hmm. And my mom's family, she had three brothers, and two of them served. They were not in World War II, though. This was my Uncle Everett, and he was in the Navy. He was real special. They lived really close to us, up the road, just a short distance. And our other brother was named Joseph Dennis Huff. He was also in the Army.
And what was your mother's name?
Betty Huff Lawson.
Pardon me. Besides CJ, did you have any other brothers or sisters?
No, I was just him and I, except we had, I always called my parents the Statue of Liberty.
Why is that?
Well, they was always helping people, bringing people in. My dad's sister died, and my two cousins, one was Francis, one was Irma. They lived with us. They lived with us when they were young. Then they went back to live with their dad in Northern Virginia. Then they came back when they were teenagers. So they were real close to me. And another one was a girl, Betty, and she was kin to my husband. That's how I met my husband. And she and CJ, they just took off right together. She liked being outside. He loved being outside. They had a horse they used to ride all the time, and just real close to each other. So we weren't just him and I, but siblings. It was just him and I.
Were you older than CJ?
I was 5 years older.
What's your first memory of him growing up? Or one of your strongest memories?
Okay, well, I remember he always smiled, and he had kind of a crooked smile, but he smiled a lot. He loved outdoors. He liked riding horses, and he had two horses. First, he had this just kind of regular horse, Kate, but before he left, he had a horse named Thunder, and it was just like a beautiful, beautiful horse. He had chickens, and we had rabbits, and we had a sheep named Happy, who just had like one of each. And we had a calf. I think we named the calf Billy Bob. We live really close from where I'm at now. It's probably about 5 miles. And can I tell you a little bit about Earlysville?
Sure.
Okay, so we're in Earlysville, really small rural community, and it's about 12 miles from Charlottesville. They had an Episcopal church, which they still have. They had a community church. It was called the Union Church. And we went there when I was young to Sunday school. And then we would come up here to Chestnut Grove Baptist. That's where we all ended up belonging. They had a grocery store in Earlysville. And before my dad built his store, he worked there for a while. And right now that's called the Earlysville Exchange. And people donate from the community, and people buy from the community, and they have taken in like over $300,000 in the last 10 years. And that's all donated to like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, different people, if they have a fire, just all kind of people that need help in the community, food bank, that kind of thing. And the firehouse. The firehouse back then was all volunteer, but now they have, I think, employees as well as. So it was a small, really cohesive community. Everybody used to know everybody. And believe it or not, my mom said the road they lived on, it would be about 5 cars go down every day in the morning to go to work. And then there'd be 5 cars come back at nighttime. Can you imagine? And let me think what else about Earlysville. Now they also have a place where they do pottery, and you can buy the pottery up there in the middle of Earlysville. And they used to have the Daily Progress. I think it's no longer in Charlottesville. It might be in Richmond, but it's just a small. But we used to get all kind of information about the memorials, Veterans Day. They would always have, just about always have a service at one or both of those from our VFW group.
Great. Anything else that you'd like to tell us about CJ before he went into the service?
Well, he used to go every summer. There was 2 boys that were brothers. They were breedings, and then the guy up the road, I think they call him Tiki Wood or something, they would get their horses and pack a lunch and ride all over. I mean, can you imagine that now, going all over people's property and nobody said anything? They'd leave in the morning, they'd be gone most of the day. And I think that was maybe his favorite thing. And he loved being outdoors. He liked to hunt. My dad hunted. He liked to hunt, and he liked to fish. He had a fish he had stuffed in his room. He was easy to get along with. See, all of us were girls, and he was the only boy, and he was the youngest. So he kind of got special treatment. And
Did he play any sports?
he played a little bit of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember a whole lot about that. It's been like 60 years. But yeah.
Was CJ married?
He actually ran away and got married, him and Jane. She was, believe it or not, still in high school. When he came home, it was like January. They went to Reedsville, North Carolina, which wasn't really that unusual when I was going to school. A lot of times people would elope and then they'd come back home. And she didn't tell her family she was married at first. So then finally he came back and he went back, I think, to Georgia. She was with him there for a while before he got shipped out.
And did he have a child?
He did. He was killed in November 4th, and CJ was born in March. So they named him CJ the Third, and we call him CJ also.
What was his formal name? His son's formal name?
His full name,
Yes.
James Jackson Lawson the Third. Let's see if I can find a picture of him. Him and his. I know I have pictures. Maybe I put them over here. Sorry. Can I use the small pictures? Oh,
Yeah.
here, let's do this one. This is after he got married. This is CJ, the third. This is his wife, Beverly. And they had two sons, Jason and Eric. So, yeah.
Who would be CJ that we're speaking about? They would be his grandchildren.
That would be his grandchildren, correct. Correct. And this was long time ago. They're now, and I think Jason's in his 30s. This is a picture, this was a couple of Easters ago. This is a picture of CJ the Third, his son Jason, and their two boys, Brody and Harrison. And this is me. Okay, and this is would be CJ's grandchildren. Jason and Eric when they were in high school. And I just talked to Jason today. His sons now, they're really into sports. They do a lot of cross country running, and they have broke all kind of records. He said they were born to run.
I meant to ask you, what was your father's occupation?
He worked first for, it's called White Store, where the Ellisville Exchange is, and then he built a store. It's out on Hydraulic Road, called Hilltop Grocery.
It's still there, right?
It's still there. Mm-hmm.
And what about your mother?
She was a homemaker, stayed home, and worked a little bit at the store, and really liked doing that because I think she needed an escape from all the cooking and cleaning.
When CJ, do you remember when you first found out that he was going into the military?
Kinda. He asked me, he came over and talked to me and asked me, did I think it was a good idea? And I was just married and, a lot of stuff was going on and work and all. I thought, yeah, it's a good idea. I didn't consider the Vietnam War. I never even thought, he would get sent to Vietnam. I never considered that at all. And I wish he had never asked me because I said, I think that's a good idea. Because you get to travel, you get training and that kind of thing. Back then it would seem like a lot of the young men, women too, they either went to college, or they found a job, or a lot of the guys went into the military.
Do you think the service of his fathers and others in his family influenced him to
I'm
join
sorry.
him? Do you think that the fact that his father had served and others
Yes,
influenced him?
yes, I do. I do. Because he used to try on parts of his uniform and stuff. And I don't remember Dad saying anything real negative about it, a little bit, but I think if you hear the letters, he's always talking about, Dad this, Dad that. I think that was part of it.
So your parents were supportive of him going into the military?
Uh,
How did they feel about it?
well, I know they really wanted him to come back, and I think Dad was hoping eventually he would take over the store. And they were sad he was gone, but before he left, I'm not sure what the conversation was.
Do you remember the day he left for the military?
Yeah, I remember the day he
Tell us
left.
about that.
Mm-hmm. Uh, well, he had a dog. His name was Tex. I remember him was being out there jumping all around. And of course, we were trying to be brave and strong. And I can remember him driving up the drive. Yeah, my parents, they were real close to him, so I know they never got over it. But they didn't make our lives miserable or anything about it, but they always they had the Dogwood Festival. They always went to that. They went to all the Veterans Day, all the Memorial Days. Dad was real big in the VFW, and yeah.
Did CJ say anything more about why he wanted to join the military than what you've said?
I think he was just at that age. He was like, what am I going to do now? What's going to happen with my life? He'd worked at the store some, and I think he liked that okay, but I don't think he really wanted to make that a lifetime thing. So.
You mentioned the Dogwood Festival and the Veterans Day events, and Charlottesville is, as you know, the home of the very first Vietnam memorial in the country.
Exactly.
And CJ is honored up there. In fact, the reason that the memorial was founded was because the men here heard that he had given his life in Vietnam, and that's what started them thinking they needed to establish this memorial.
Yeah.
And again, and he is honored up there with a plaque as the very first from Charlottesville.
Right.
There's as part of the ceremony that they held to dedicate his plaque, there was a speaker who talked about CJ's service and sort of summarized some of the things with some of his training and where he had gone. Would you mind reading some of those just so we could have a background
Not
of
at all.
CJ's service?
Okay. CJ left Elmo High School after his junior year. He joined the Army on 8th of June, 1964, one day after his 17th birthday. His mother Betty said he was just becoming a man and was anxious to learn new skills and get on with his life. CJ was ordered to Fort Gordon, Georgia for basic training. He was then assigned to Fort Rucker, Alabama, where he was trained as a helicopter mechanic and a crew member in the Army Aviation Service. He did well in his coursework and enjoyed flying in helicopters. After taking a train from Fort Rucker to Mayport, Florida, and his unit embarked aboard the aircraft carrier USS Boxer and spent 28 days at sea. All their helicopters were aboard and they were assigned to tight quarters. They sailed across the Atlantic and through the Mediterranean and the Suez Canal, arriving off the coast of South Vietnam on 15 August 1965. Upon debarkation on 18 August 1965, CJ and his unit were assigned to a company, 4th Aviation Battalion of the 1st Cavalry Division at Ankay in the Central Highlands. He was further assigned to be an air crew member on a UH-1E Huey, which was the workhorse of the 1st Cavalry. CJ worked as a door gunner and a crew chief on over 200 combat missions. He wrote that he loved flying in that area because the mountains reminded him of his home in Virginia. On November 4, 1965, during the Operation Long Reach near Ann Cay, the Huey on which CJ was a crewman was involved in a mid-air collision with another Huey. One chopper was lifted off after refueling, and the other was coming in to refuel. They collided, and there was a loud explosion and a large ball of fire accompanying to CJ's friend Spec 4 Ken Taylor, who has visited the family often. So, Specialist 4 Lawson was awarded the Air Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, and the National Defense Service Medal. He is listed on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. at Panel 3E, line 18, and here at the oldest Vietnam memorial in the USA. He is buried at Holly Memorial Gardens in Elmore County, Virginia.
Thank you, Peggy.
You're welcome.
And that was from the dedication of his plaque at the Vietnam Memorial.
Yeah, yes.
So once he had left for service, how did he communicate with you and the rest of the family members?
Okay, well, there wasn't any texts, none of the FaceTime, nothing like that. So he wrote letters, and these are some letters. I think it's about 60 letters there, and he also wrote to his wife. So he wrote letters, I think, every day, as much as he could, and we wrote back as often as we could. And
your plan is to donate some of those letters to the Veterans History
Yes.
Project, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And would you like to read from some of those letters for us?
I would. I think the most important thing is probably the letters he wrote. Let's see.
Please do.
What I did was I took areas out of the letters, and instead of reading the whole thing, which is still a lot. Okay, and I just did it random. I just went all through, and I didn't try to do any order or anything.
So what you're about to read are excerpts from
the letters.
his letters.
I have the letters. They're written on notebook paper, and a lot of them are just written in pencil. So I got, this is 1st September 1964. It's real hot down here, and it stays that way all day and most of the night. Well, we started school today, and I like it real well. The only thing I don't like is about we have to take notes, and that's about every word they say. We went up in a CH-34 helicopter, and I liked that. It was a little rough riding, but I did like it very much. We have to know all the names of all the small aircraft and helicopters. We have 5 weeks of school and 7 exams altogether. We have 2 of them this Friday, and of all the exams, you have to have at least 75% average. I know that it's going to be hard, but I know I can pass. So wish me luck. I'm real sorry that I haven't called, but these phones are all just about out of order, and I can't find one that is working. I may be able to call tomorrow, but I don't know how I will get to town. After we get off from school at 4:30, we can go anywhere that we want, and I sure do like that. This week we get off Friday night and not have to be back till Tuesday morning. It is 6 of us guys going to the beach. I haven't made up my mind yet, but will more than likely go. Okay, 18th of November, 1964. Passed the first test with a 98 score. We have 6 more days of school and 2 more tests to go. I'm sure I'll be glad when the school is over. I'm sick of doing school. I guess I will be going overseas when this school is over. One boy said he saw the orders, and all of us were going to Germany, and just about all of the RA were going to either Vietnam or Korea. which are two real nice places to be. Well, someone has to go, and I guess I can take it just as good as anyone else can. It is not that I want to, but anyway, I can help with this country. I'm willing to do so. Dad, I hope you get your buck this time, and I hope Dennis does too. Just don't kill them, okay? Just don't kill them all. I sure do miss not hunting. That's all I could think about was being in the woods with the old gun and just waiting for the big old buck to come by. I sure do miss all those good times. Dad, I guess you will have to do all the hunting for both of us this year. Well, we didn't get an aircraft to go up, so we had the whole morning taking notes and 2 hours to install letters, which takes about 10 minutes to put the whole thing in and take it out. I tell you, I'll never forget how Chris looks. I sure do miss him. He won't even know me when I get home. He's as sweet as can be. That's my son. He was real small. I guess I will have to give him Tex, CJ's dog. I know he and Tex will have a lot of fun together. Tex will look after him. I guess Tex will be happier with him than anyone else. Did I tell you that from what little I know about the Army, it is the only field to be in as ranks in, all the others are frozen. And so everyone said, this is a big field and getting bigger all the time. There will always be aircraft, and that's what the Army is going big for, because they are so much faster and do the same job that would take so much longer, if not for the aircrafts. Most of all, they are getting to be safer all the time. I don't know how well these things are made. Sure, things will happen to them, but so does your car. And if you are a good crew chief and a good pilot, nothing will happen because of all the safety devices it has. Dad, I'm sorry to say, but I haven't been going to church or reading my Bible. But I still try to keep God with me wherever I go. I know He is the only one to put your trust in. Well, Dad, I have to do some talking to you when I come home about what we will do when I get out of the Army. I have just about made up my mind to stay in 20 years, and then all we will do is hunt and fish back up in those good old mountains. So, okay, this is October 6, 1964. Well, it just looks like nothing ever works out right. Jane didn't make it down here this week. And like I thought, she said her mother found out or thought she was going to leave. She said she couldn't go any place or do anything by herself. She said it was just like being in prison. I tell you, I just couldn't stand to let anything like that happen to her. I'm going to do something about it if I can. I wrote a letter to them, but I haven't mailed it. Well, we started a new course, and I know it's going to be hard, but I think it can make it all right. Well, wish me luck. We have 5 weeks to learn all about 2 helicopters. That's a lot to learn in 5 weeks. I just thought I would let you know that Friday I will make E2. Okay. December 9, 1964. Well, things are going right fast now. Monday I got to be a fireman in 4 hours. And just now a boy came in and goes to me to fill out a paper to get my driver's license to drive light trucks. I guess I'll be a little bit of everything when I get out of here. I will also get an aircraft tomorrow and start crewing. It will be a lot better now that I can do something on my own. Today I went on the airfield and I was helping another boy, and a pilot came out and was going to fly his ship, and I had a look at the main rotor head and a bolt was loose, so I grounded the aircraft. I don't think the pilot would have found it, and I felt pretty good about that. Well, Dad, I sure am glad to hear you say you could use a little help at the store, I guess. I've almost forgotten how to be a storekeeper, but I guess it will always stay in my blood. I guess it comes from having such a wonderful dad to teach me how to act and work in the store. It's a right good life, and I guess I will always stay with me in a way, though I will be doing that kind of work for a right good while. I just want people to think half as much of me as they do of you, and be half the man you are, which I know I will never be. You said it would be like old times having me over there. Well, I wish everything were like old times, even though I like this, but I don't guess that will ever be just the same as they were. Well, I'm sure glad it makes you all proud to tell people how I'm doing, but I'm not doing anything that anyone else in the world wouldn't do. It's real easy, but a lot of lives in your hand, and one wrong move or just look one thing, and that's it, and maybe everyone lives that's in the aircraft. Dad, I just can't wait to get home so we can do some hunting. You're not getting old, and there's no use in turning it over to me, because if you had to depend on me to eat, we all would have to go hungry. Tell Dennis I want him to take me hunting behind the trailer. I sure hope they find whoever broke into the store, but even if did, they wouldn't do anything about it. Mom and Dad, you all don't have to get me anything for Christmas, because just to be home with you all and with Jane is enough for me. July 64. How are you all? Fine, I hope. I'm okay, except my legs feel like they are going to drop off. We had a long march today, and it feels like I walked about 50 miles, but it was only about 7 or 8 miles. We didn't go to the rifle range today because we had something about finding a target that is camouflaged, and that is real hard to do. This is my note. When CJ came home, Jane cries and CJ eloped to Reidsville, North Carolina. After returning home the same day, Jane went back to her house in Crozet, Virginia, as she's still in high school and her family was not aware of her marriage. This is in late December or early January. Okay, January 7, 65. Well, I don't guess this will be long. I just don't feel like writing right now. But I will try to write a long letter to you all tomorrow night and answer your letter. I just thought I would let you know I am okay and real sad right now, but it will pass like always, I guess. I tell you, this is one hell of a life with your wife about 600 miles away from you, married one day and gone away the next. But I guess that is life. Okay. September 65, this is a letter to me and family. Well, we finally got off for a little while. This is Sunday morning and don't start work until 12:30 today. It seems like it's going to be a real hot day. We just got through eating. I think I may get my ship today sometime. I hope so. Boy, did the 101st Airborne get their ass tore up yesterday about 8 miles from here. I think about 50 wounded or killed, and we flew in some arms for them, and they got one ship shot up real bad, and they took off and left the crew chief. The last we heard, he was okay, and he may be back today. Well, I just got word that we are going to pick up our ship today. I was glad to hear that you all had bought a piece of land, and guess you will have a house and moved in it by the time I get back home. Chris sure is getting off to a good start. I guess he is a real big boy by now. I don't hardly know him when I first saw him when I came home on leave. So September 20, a letter to the grandparents, Tom and Julia Huff. I hope this finds you all well. I guess I am okay. All but I wish I was back in Virginia. Boy, I tell you, I sure do miss not being there. I will be glad when this year is up so I can come back. Well, how's everything going in the big city? I hope I don't change too much because I like it just like it is. I guess they say that is old-fashioned, but it's the way I like it. I got a letter from the preacher the other day. It sure does make me feel good to know that someone that I never met thinks a little about you when you are so far away from home. Don't spoil my boy Chris either. I put parentheses, Jane is pregnant. I sure hope it is a boy. I sure wish I could be there when he is born, but I don't guess it was meant to be that way. I guess God had better plans for me over here. Well, I hate to make this so short, but I guess I had better get some sleep so I can get up in the morning and dig some more foxholes and burn more brush. Tell you next time, may God bless you and take care. Write as often as you can. I think of you all real often, even if I don't get to write. I will write whenever I can. September 30th. To Mom and Dad, just a few lines. Well, I flew all day today. Well, all together I got in 3 hours and 40 minutes, and boy, am I tired. I guess I'm okay, but I wish I were back in Virginia. Boy, I'm having a good time tonight. Sergeant Reeves and a warrant officer are having a promotion party, and boy, is the Budweiser good. Boy, I tell you, once I get back to Virginia, I will never leave. Mom, I hope you will send me something to eat before too long because I can't seem to be able to get enough to eat. And they will let you go through the chow line twice, and sometimes I'm still hungry. Guess I've gained about 5 pounds since I've been here. And this is October 65. Well, today I went on my first combat mission. It was kind of scary at first, but it was okay. We didn't draw any fire, I'm glad to say. My ship has been here since the 18th of September and sat there. I've flown about 20 hours. The old ship flies right good. The engine has 800 hours, and that's right old for one of these ships. Altogether, I flew 3 hours and 40 minutes today. We went on training mission this morning and went up to Pleiku, which is about 35 minutes flights. Boy, it is a nice place. I wish I was stationed there instead of here. I wrote to Osborne, as his second cousin, grew up across the roads, also in the Army. Hope he writes back. I would like to know how he is making it. I hope he likes the Army better than I do. It is all right, but I just don't like how the people treat you. They were about 10 Spec K stripes come down this month, and guess I have too much time and grade to make it. I was 5 guys with less time than I have, and one of them had just 2.5 months. I tell you, I'm not going to kiss anyone's ass to make it. I think as long as a guy does his job and has the time, he should make rank. I talked to my platoon leader, and then I talked to Captain Bush, and he said he would see what he could do. I may have told you last night, but I wasn't feeling no pain when I started your letter. I hope you all don't mind, but it was a promotion party, and it's the only thing you do except work, and you know all work and no play can do things to a person. It is nothing to buy or nothing to do at all. We get to go right many places, but we have to stay with our ship to guard them. We have a PX set up across the road, but all they have is soap, paper, cigarettes, etc. It's a lot of fun buying all those good things. Ha ha. I am glad to hear that Thomas got a letter from Osborne. Osborne's his cousin that's across the road, lived across. I hope he gets stationed closer to home than I am. But you know how Uncle Sam is. He don't like to see anyone happy. Well, Dad, I will try to be a better soldier than Charlie. I'll try to do my job the best I know, and when I am working, I know I am doing it for Jane, my son, and all my loved ones because I am helping to keep them free. I think of good men who die, but they die for freedom, and all of us GIs know we have a job to do, and like you say, we would be hard to beat when it gets rough. That's when we really start to fight. Yes, Dad, we were on alert again last night, but we didn't go. We had a bunch of 101 guys in trouble. It looks like the 1st Cavalry has to take care of them instead of them looking out for us. Dad, I think I've changed since I got here. I feel like I want to get out there and fight. The other day, a sergeant and I had a few words, and it ended up in the woods, and he beat my ass. But I would go back out there in a minute with him again. I don't have any hard feelings against him as long as he don't say anything else to me. All he says to me now is to tell me what to do, and I do it, and we get along okay. Now, boy, I tell you, my eye felt like it was the size of a baseball the next day. It's just that what you get for going in the woods with a man about 30 years old and weighing about 200 pounds. I think he was a little bit big for me. Dad, guess I will change a lot of people, and I guess it helps them in a lot of ways. Mom, why don't you take some pictures and send them to me? You know how much I like to look at pictures. If Peggy and Junior move to Georgia, tell them to write real often and to send me their address as soon as they can. Dad, there's no use in buying land from Mary because I will take it from you. Jane and I have decided to wait and look for a place together when I get home, so we can both know what we're buying and making sure we both like it. If you do get it, I will talk to Jane this year is up and see if she wants it, but I don't promise you I'll buy it. You all take care and be good, and don't worry about me, 'cause old Shank will be fine. Is this too much?
Great.
Okay, this is October 65. Just a few lines to say hello. I guess I'm okay. I'm real sorry I haven't written for the past few days, but it's like this. I went to Saigon. Well, we stayed 4 days all together. Boy, that is a nice place after seeing this place for 2 months. It's a real big place and a lot to see. They have about anything you want and don't cost too much. It's about like the U.S., all but the slant-eyed people. We don't get to see too much, and the time sure did go by slow. I had a good rest anyway. Yes, Dad, I guess we 3 Virginia boys can clean up most of those VCs if they would let us. Ha ha. I will be going to, Pleiku in a few days. I will leave sometime in the morning. Just about all our ships are up there now. They have been up there for the past 4 days. I will try to write, but I guess they will keep us right busy flying. No, Mom, we didn't get the name Ghost Riders because we fly at night. I really don't know just how it came around, but we got it. I think it is because we have a real good company and we are first to go in most of the time. I tell you, our CO is something else on this one mission. No matter what happens, he keeps cool. And if they show him a place on a map to go, it is not 10 or 15 yards away from where we land. He is one of the best. By the way, how many packages have you sent? I only got one with the cookies and the car books that you sent. Well, guess I will close for now until the next time. Be good and may God bless and take care. With love, your son. P.S. Write as often as you can, even if I don't write every day. I think of you all every day. I will take care, and please don't worry about me. I think I'm big enough to take care of myself. I think I've told you all I made specials for the 18th of this month. Boy, am I glad of that. Okay, then October 28th to Sister Peggy and family. I guess I'm all okay, all but a little tired. I went up to Saigon the 23rd and got back the 26th. Boy, that is a nice place. And being in a place like this, I had a real good time, but it didn't last long enough. Well, I know this is not going to be very long because I am sitting on my ship writing by flashlight, and I have to write to Jane. Jane wants to rent a trailer in Crozet up where she lives now, and I can't see her being by herself. She said it's real crowded up there and the children make so much noise, and I think it's about to get her down. Peggy, I want to ask you something, and I just don't know how to ask. I hope you all understand and don't get mad for me asking all this. Peggy, I just can't see her living by herself in a time like this, pregnant. It's bad enough on her being on her own without me. I tell you that I would be worried to death knowing she is by herself. If you all have room for her, I would be glad to pay for all, whatever you think would be enough. I believe you will understand. And let's see. This is November the 1st, 1965. We're in Pleiku now and have been here for 2 or 3 days. I've lost count now. Right now we're sitting in grass and weeds up to my head. Yesterday we flew 10 hours and 25 minutes. We leave at daybreak and get back at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Boy, it is kind of tiresome sitting in this chopper and loading supplies and all that kind of thing. The first time I saw my ship when I got back from Saigon, it had some problem, a failure. It took 2 days to get it back in the air, and the boy was I glad to get it flying again. We had a real good job one time yesterday. We hauled a load of wounded and one alive GI out of another area. They said one of our rocket ships dropped a locked down on them. Boy, that is one job I don't care for at all. Well, I don't know how much of the letter I will get right because they usually come up with a mission real fast when they see us just sitting on the ground. Dad, I'm real sorry that you had to have an operation. If you need anything, I will do my best to help you in any way I can. You should take it easy and not work so hard. Dad, don't you all worry about me because I believe I can take care of myself. I think. Don't believe what you read all those papers because they don't know what all is going on, and we are not seeing that much action anyway. I've only been in one area that we were fired on since I've been here. Most all the time, it is already some of our guys on the ground before we go in, and these VC can't shoot worth a damn anyway. Dad, I'm real sorry to hear you're not going to get in much deer hunting this year. I know you look forward to it a lot, but like you say, we will make up for it next year. Dad, I am sorry I haven't written for a few days, but I just haven't had a chance. We fly all the time. This is the second time I've started writing this letter. I just get a few words in each time. Dad, take good care of yourself and let me know how everything's going. Okay, on November 4th, a telegram was delivered by Mr. Haney, our mailman, to me at nighttime because he knew Dad had just come home from having surgery. We live next door to Mom and Dad, Mr. and Mrs. Champ Lawson Sr. The Secretary of the Army have asked me to express his deep regret that your son, Specialist Champ Jackson Lawson Jr., has been missing in Vietnam since November 4th, 1965. The circumstances are unknown at this time, and you will be advised promptly upon receipt of this information. And I have the telegrams. There it is. Okay, the first one, Mr. and Mrs. Champ Lawson Sr., it says, don't phone, report delivery, general delivery in Earlsville. The Secretary of the Army has asked me to express his deep regret that your son, Specialist Champ J. Lawson Jr., has been missing in Vietnam since November 4th, 1965. The circumstances are unknown at this time. We will advise you promptly upon receipt of this information. J.C. Lambert, Major General. And then that was at nighttime. And the next day they had a taxi cab came. It says, to Mr. and Mrs. Champ Lawson Sr., report delivery, don't phone. General Delivery, Earlsville. The Secretary of the Army has asked me to express his deep regret that your son, Specialist Champ J. Lawson, Jr., died in Vietnam on November 4, 1965, as a result of a helicopter crash. 2 helicopters, one in which your son was a passenger, were returning from a mission when they collided in mid-air. He was previously reported missing. His remains have been recovered and positively identified. The Chief of Support Services, Department of the Army, will communicate with his wife concerning the return of your son's remains. Please accept my deepest sympathy. J.C. Lambert, Major General, USA. And then, I think it was on the 13th. This is, I believe, the 10th that he got back. This is from Oakland, California. Irvin Funeral Home. Delivery charges not guaranteed. First Market Street, Charlottesville, Virginia. The remains of Spec 4 Champ J. Lawson, Jr., and it has a number, accompanied by military escort, departing San Francisco, 2 flights, 64, 9:15 a.m., 11 November for Irvin Funeral Home, arriving Dulles International Airport, 5 o'clock p.m., 11 November. Request funeral director receive remains and escort at Dulles Airport, Washington, D.C. to the nearest terminal to Charlottesville. Commanding General, Military Traffic Management and Terminal Service, Oakland Army Base. So it was 3. And
when the telegram was delivered telling you that he had been killed in Vietnam, who delivered that? A taxi cab driver, did you say?
the first time it was our mailman. Mom lived in a house and we lived in a house next door. And they knew, everybody knew Dad had had major surgery. So they knocked on the door and handed us the telegram. So we actually debated, could we tell him tonight? Should we tell him tonight? And it was like, we have to tell him. So we went over there and explained, showed him the telegram, and then the next day, a taxi cab pulled up in the driveway. And the man came out and gave us the second telegram.
A taxi cab driver delivered it.
I think there was some with him that got out. I think he had a cab bring him to our house. Yeah.
Was he a military man? The person who handed it to you? I'm just curious whether the military sent somebody to let you know.
Well, when he came home to the funeral home, yeah, they stayed.
Okay.
They stayed with him, I think, the whole time until they had the service, which was down here on 29 Holly Memorial. Yeah.
But the telegram, it was delivered by, they just left you the telegram. They didn't stay with you at that time.
No, they didn't. I mean, it was a few days before his body got here. He died on the 4th. I think he was buried on the 13th. And I guess they have to do all the transporting. I didn't even.
It must have been difficult when you were told he's missing in action and you just don't know for sure what's going on.
You know, we watched stuff on TV and they had started showing scenes from Vietnam. We just didn't know what to think, scared and nervous and upset. What could you do? We were very, very, very upset. And I'm sure there were plenty other people suffered the same thing. It was very sad.
How did you try to cope with it?
All I can say is just have to keep going. If you just give up, you can't do that. You know, Chris was a baby, and we had to do things, and we had to work, and we had to keep going. So we just had to keep on trying. I think, well, I belong to the church, and that helped me a lot.
So Peggy, before we took a break, we're back from our break. Before we took a break there, you were talking about how you had tried to cope with the loss of CJ.
Mm-hmm.
How did your parents cope with it, do you think?
I just think they were sad. I think they relied a lot on the church. I think the people in the community really supported them and really um, helped them tremendously. You know, I think people realized the sacrifice, and uh, they were strong people. Both of them were. They were really. One thing I did, which you probably think is weird now that you see all the stuff I've collected and all the books I got. I have so many brochures from every memorial, every Veterans Day I took all his pictures down. I kind of shut the door. And I tried not to think about it as much as I could. And then about 10 years later, I was taking classes at Piedmont. I went back to, I worked as a radiologic technologist, and then I tried to take some more classes, and they wanted a class on death and dying. And you could go and interview someone. So what I did was I started writing about all the stuff. And then it's like it sort of opened me back up again. But this was just the only way I could do it. So I'm sure everybody's different. Everybody has a different way to cope. But
you're certainly honoring CJ today with this interview and with
yes.
reading from his letters. How else has CJ been honored in the community?
Okay, the community, they almost every Memorial Day, every Veterans Day, they've had a program at the post office. They've had a program, outside. They've had a program at the fire company inside. They've had all over, and they renamed the VFW post. It was 2044. They changed it to Champ J. Lawson Jr. So they named the whole thing for him, and we thought that was quite an honor. And when they did the dedication, it was really moving, and we thanked everybody for not forgetting, remembering, and they have honored him in many ways.
And as we mentioned before, the memorial, the Dogwood Vietnam Memorial, has a plaque with CJ and his picture up there. I have a copy of that if you'd like to hold that up briefly for us to see. And that's up at the Dogwood Vietnam Memorial.
All the men from Albemarle County and Charlottesville. And right now there were several from University of Virginia. Right now they're adding their pictures and their names, which is good.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you had some other pictures there, I think, that you wanted to show us and talk to us about.
Okay, well, this is my husband. He was in the Army when we got married. And the back of this says taken May 2, 1961 in Seoul, Korea. So, yep.
And he was in service when you were married?
We were, but he was almost finished. It was about 6 months left. And we went to Augusta, Georgia. Yeah. And he was always very active in the VFW and all the guys around here. Well, right now they got, when you go through Earlsville, you see the Christmas trees. That's a VFW. They do Christmas trees. They've done raffles. They've done all kind of stuff. They've been really active through the years. And this is a picture of my mom. It's not a real sharp picture. Somebody sent this to us with these other two ladies that their sons had also at the Vietnam Memorial.
They had lost their sons as well.
As well, yes.
Which one is your mom?
My mom's this one with the
blue
coat. That's my husband right there. And I know this lady, Miss Carter. I think that was her only son. I've seen this, but I can't remember her name. Okay. So it did affect my family. I thought I'd show you my three. I had three sons. And let's see. These are really good pictures if we can zoom in. This was at the renaming of the VFW post. Okay. I don't know how many of these. Okay, this is probably Memorial Day. And let's see the signs. This is his son, CJ the third, his wife, two sons, and my mother. Okay, and this is my three sons and Eric. Okay, this is CJ the third, me, and Chris, my oldest son. This is my cousin Irma with my mom. We haven't talked about this, but we'll mention this is Ken Taylor, who was a good friend of CJ's. Is this too many? Is this too many? No. Okay, this is my mom and my two sons and Mark's wife, Angie, at one of the services. This is memorial at the post office. That's my granddaughter. This is many years ago because she's 30 years old now. Okay, this is CJ playing his guitar. He's got his guitar over there. This is his dog Tex.
You had mentioned in one of his letters, right?
Yeah, he was giving his dog to Chris.
Right.
He was a real good dog. And this is him with riding his pony Kate. Still pretty young there. This is aboard the aircraft carrier. This is him on his, with a fella. Soldier. Okay. And this is him with his helicopter. Okay. And same thing, the helicopter.
Those are pictures he sent home.
These are, And this is him with children in Vietnam. And this is him with his dad. Pretty sure we went down to visit when he was in Georgia. And the only thing we had was Ken Taylor was his good friend. He wrote a book about CJ. He had PTSD for long years, and they had promised each other to get in touch with the family, and he couldn't do it. And after about 30 years, Daddy always said, I wish I really knew what happened. He got in touch with us, and he came down and visited, and Daddy tried really, really hard to help him, so he felt like we were going to be mad because he survived and CJ didn't. And he was a really nice man.
Did you know him before CJ went into service?
No, he was from Pennsylvania. They met when they were in the military together. And he wrote a poem, and he wrote the book, which was pretty good. Small book, but really good.
When you think of CJ most often, what's the thing you remember most about him?
Just growing up, playing. We used to get outside and play hide and go seek and run around with each other, ride his horse, playing with his dog. Had chickens. I mean, he was always busy, and he always seemed happy. He was always in a pretty good mood. I loved him being my brother.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about CJ that people should know, you think?
Well, you know, when he wrote home, one time I forgot to tell you this, he gambled a little bit. And he wrote home and he asked Mom and Dad to forgive him. He had lost some money, and he said, I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. And then where he wrote about, he hadn't been reading his Bible, but God was always with him. So that's important. And Mom said he's just an ordinary boy. She told that to a reporter, and he said, no, he's an extraordinary boy. He wasn't an ordinary boy. So I'll go with that.
Is there anything else you'd like to say today?
I think that's all, but I appreciate. I just wanted this to be somewhere permanent, and where I would always be there.
I want to. I wonder if you would think it would be. I wonder if you'd like to read Ken's poem.
I'd be glad to. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Said Vietnam remembered my journey, Kenneth Taylor. Let's see. Master plan. The master plan. We are just mortal man. It's hard for us to understand. Losing a friend in a faraway land was never in our plan. So till we meet again, we must try to understand. God alone is in command, and only He I can understand. I know when you got there, He shook your hand and said, welcome home, champ. This was in my plan, for you see, I hold the master plan. And he has pictures and quite a bit of information.
Well, Peggy, thank you on behalf of myself, on behalf of Peter, on behalf of Parade Rest. Thank you for sharing your memories of CJ with us. And we, of course, offer our deep condolences for his loss and our deep gratitude for the sacrifice that your family made and he made on behalf of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.